And you are back on the Tortoise and Hare Experience. What an experience it has been so far.
We just started.
I know.
What are you talking about?
Well, here's the thing. Usually, when we record the show, we usually have 2 guests on. Every now and then we have 3. And even then, like, they're all coming in kind of at different times. Today was kind of like the first day that, like, we kind of had everybody in together.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be that way, but
Right.
Our other band kind of ran into some LA traffic. Go figure. And, schedule kind of got messed up just a little bit. It's all right. It's good.
Yes, make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we do.
It's been just kind of like a little mini party in between, like, shows. And sometimes with, like, me, I get caught up in, like, super party mode. So it's, then it's just like, Turtle, we got to do this. I'm like, fuck. Can't you see I'm having fun?
No fun for you.
Yeah.
Back to work.
Yeah. So the party within the party.
Yes.
Is definitely a party. We always start off the show with an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And by saying who our guest is.
I keep on Who is it?
I don't know. Some guy.
Some weirdo.
Yeah. Did you want to? Or?
Go ahead. You're on the mic.
Well, I mean, he's your friend. I mean, come on, Max.
Well, I have lots of friends here.
That's true.
It's all you, man.
Right. Well, I know. I mean, this is not who we're supposed to have on. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, I gotta leave. It's time for me to leave. I gotta go now.
We have Jeff from the Loyal Order in today. Very cool to have you. Very cool to meet you.
Pleasure.
The song that we just did, I wrote down.
He did not. He didn't do any of
No, because remember,
it was
Max,
Ready for Dead.
Yeah, Ready for Dead. But like, a lot of people know this by now, and I beat this thing to like death. But like, I'm trying to rid myself of using paper. So like,
he just doesn't know how to write.
No, I mean, I do, and you know what? In theory, like, writing in paper would be great for me, but it's just. I don't know. I'm just trying to conserve paper and not use as much. And it's like, if I
do you read books online too?
I don't read books per se.
That's what I thought.
I have an amazing.
That was the right answer for that.
I have an amazing book collection. I have like an amazing book collection.
And you've never opened them?
Yeah. No, but I've already read them. I'm really weird, and maybe I need to get back into reading books again because like. It's kind of like a movie. Like, I'll watch a movie once, and I'll be like, okay, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it again.
Yeah.
Or like I'll read a book.
Unless it's really great, and then it's like, then you have to.
Unless it's on a rerun on TV, and I just happen to be like, oh, okay, you know, why not? There's only one movie that I've seen multiple times, and that was Rogue One from Star Wars. So that movie just I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And I've literally seen it like more than Star Wars actually.
Right.
And I've seen Star Wars like a bunch of times, but Rogue One it had everything for me. So that's kind of like the only movie that I've seen. Every now and then I'll rewatch a movie.
I mean, are you a true Star Wars fan, or are you just talking out of your hat?
No, I mean, here's
talking
the thing.
from the shell.
Now, here's the thing. What is a true fan? Because some people will be like, well, I'm a true fan. I know every director's name. I know the catering people. I know, you know what I mean? But there's like some people like myself who like I consider myself a true fan. I don't know everything, but I'm down to watch it. Yeah. If I see something that I like, I'm like, I don't know the backstories of like completely everybody, but I just enjoy it. I'm along for the ride, and anything that they put out, I'm like, I'm in. The Solo movie that's about to come out, like I was thinking, I was like, okay, I'm down. Like, it's Han Solo, and like every kind of movie that they've done. Like, I didn't even think I was gonna like Rogue One. I'm like, who the fuck? Like, why should I care about these people? Like, I don't even, I'm like, there's nobody that I know that's in here. But I was like, all right, I'm along for the ride. And then it turned out to be like my favorite, like Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it was a good one for sure.
But I think a lot of people get too.
I don't know.
I'm being politically correct. I mean,
yeah, you are being politically
are
correct.
Star Wars fans like Star Trek fans? Are they Trekkies? Or are they like, what would you call a Star Wars fan? Like,
Star Wars fan?
A Star Wars fan.
A Star Wars fan, or like a Star Trek fans are Trekkies. So, what would you call it?
I don't know.
You would call them
Star Wars fans.
Star Wars fans.
my son is a huge Star Wars fan. Jesse's like, when he was little, we got this Star Wars game, you know, where it's like kind of Trivial Pursuit for Star Wars. And,
Okay, that's cool.
and he knew every single answer, every single one. And now he's, 26 years old. I can't believe I have a 26-year-old. And his dog's name is Kylo, and
that's cool.
He's got 2 dogs. One is Padme, and the other one is Kylo.
Oh, really?
Which is funny.
Which Kylo is like one of the, like, everyone gives me shit because I'm like, dude, Kylo is like kind of cooler than Darth Vader, and everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He's
don't get me
cool,
wrong, I love
but,
Darth Vader, but like, dude, I mean that, I hate saying this, but I'm like, that Adam Driver is amazing. Like anything that he does, like he truly, like what people don't understand is that, like, I'm like, dude, he truly encapsulated what it's like just to like really have your emotions truly control you. Because like Darth Vader, he was cool, he was great, but he was kind of okay with his emotions.
I'm
but this
thinking he's just a little emo.
He's very emo, but like, but aren't we all in some way?
No. We're not.
And the argument that I always give too is that, like, even though like Darth Vader was he was in charge, but never like on paper. Right. Like he was always like the guy. He was just mainly like the thug, like the main bully, to the Emperor. But like in the new Star Wars, like Kylo Ren now runs the First Order. Like that's it. Yes.
He doesn't.
Yeah. No. Did you not see the movie?
Yes, I did. Did you?
He runs. He's now in charge. Darth Vader was never in charge of the Empire. He was just, the guy. He was just
Jack. You'll
the
see.
Dark Lord, the monotone, like stoic killer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the hitman, man, essentially. Yeah. But now Kylo runs everything. I love it. People are gonna give me shit, but whatever. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And again, I'm a fan, so why can't I like it? Like, why?
Go ahead, like
man.
it.
You can like it. You know what? Yeah. It's okay. We want you to know right now that it is okay. Your feelings are valid.
Support group.
Jeff, I like you. I like you a lot, Jeff. We just met today, and I'm like, dude, this guy's cool. You get me. Jeff gets me. Thank you.
Yeah, he gets you.
Yes.
I don't get that you aren't like reading more books. And
yeah, back to the book thing. Yeah. Like, what happened? That we kind of like steered away. We veered off our path.
Just time. But I have amazing books. I have one of my favorite books.
Charlotte's Web.
No, it's called the Comedy Writer, and it's about this guy who lives in Boston, and he flies out to LA. This is like in the 90s, to be a comedy writer and just get his like stuff out there. And he meets a girl, and this girl's like batshit crazy, but they fall in love, obviously, and just kind of the scenarios that he goes through. But like what made me fall in love with it even more was because like some of the places that he's talked about, I've been there. So I'm like, oh, like, so the scenes just are automatically happen in front of me. Yeah. And oh man, I want to say it was one of the Coen brothers wrote it. So it's one of the best books that I've read. It's funny, and it just has a lot going for it. I've read a lot of books that the guy that wrote Fight Club, Chuck Pull, I can't think of his name right now, but that guy, he's an amazing. Like, I saw Fight Club, and then I read the book. And the book, and I hated to be the guy that was like, "Whoa, the book was better," Cause there's always that person, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I became that fucking guy."
And it usually is.
Typically
the book is better. I mean,
always better.
And that was cool. And
it's
then
a written word.
And then one of my godson, he got me into comic books, and he's like, "Dude," he's like, "You gotta watch." I mean, of course, my voice that I'm doing is the complete one opposite of his voice. But he's like, yeah. Dude,
you gotta watch this.
No, he's like, dude, here's the Watchmen. You gotta read it. And I read it, and I was like, holy shit, this is badass, you know. So I mean, my books that I do are in spurts, but they have to be intriguing. They have to really captivate my time. And maybe I had this book that's Jerry Seinfeld wrote, and it was called Sign Language or something like that. And that was just fucking he had this great observation. That is one of my favorites, and it's so true. He's like, you know, I went to go try on some clothes. He's like, why is it every time you go try on clothes, there's music playing? You know, you're kind of in the mood, and you go and you buy it. He's like, but then you get home, there's no music playing. It's dark. You try it on, it's just not that same effect, you know. And I'm just like, yeah, you're completely right.
Totally right.
You know, so there's stuff like that. I have a bunch of George Carlin books too, that I have, because that guy is just a fucking genius, and just the way he talks about life and
stuff,
and just stuff like Jerry Seinfeld has great observation, but like George Carlin just had this great humor about him, and it was just groundbreakingly smart in my head. It really just opened up my head into a different kind of way of thinking. So I mean, I don't do the traditional, you know, like novels of Twilight or what. I don't know if that's, you know, like things like that. Not knocking those things, but like a book has to really just, you know, get me. So like those types of things. I had a book that Al Franken wrote before Al Franken was like became a politician or whatever. Because I wanted to see, just like when you write a book, it's extremely soulful. You know what I mean? It's you're putting your soul and who you were at that time on paper, kind of like a song, you know, because a song but a song is much more of like a 3-minute, you know, segment of that, whereas like a book is like you have to have like a year or something, you know, that you're writing about of that experience. So yeah, so I do, you know, Max, you're always saying how like uncouth I am, but I am the most couthest of like everybody. It's just
the couthest.
The couthest.
You're the couthest.
Hashtag the couthest.
Like, that's a new one. Is that a word?
No.
Yes, of course.
It's got to be a word.
It's not a word.
Couthiest.
Let's look it up.
Dude, my internet is not working in here.
Oh, of course,
I tried to look something.
When you have to prove you wrong, that couthest is not a word. Ay.
It should be.
Couthier.
Well, it is now.
What kind of books do you read?
Oh, you know, like you know what? I'm a huge Stephen King fan.
Really?
From back, like his early stuff.
So you're dark. That's why you like the dark, Deadly Ground stuff.
Yeah.
Dark soul.
Yeah. Early Stephen King stuff, even the Richard Bachman stuff that he did, like the short stories. I thought that was really great, like Thinner and stuff like that. Did you read those?
No.
He wrote like a book of short stories under his pseudonym as Richard Bachman, and then Stephen King. And he had some really cool stories in there. They're short stories, but they're really, really awesome. And
there was this I'm pretty sure it was Stephen King that wrote it, and it turned into a movie, and it was about, what was it called? It was you just reminded me right now. It was like, I think it was like After Thinner, where this guy believes that his son is like the devil and then they go around, or no, he's like, he's going around killing people with his sons, because he's like, no, these guys are all evil, we have to kill them. Fuck, what is it called? It was like one of the best like movies. It was it was with it was fuck. Now I gotta look for this. Damn it.
Typically, like his movies have never done, like your imagination gets into some of these scary stories, and it's like that movie's a lot better usually than the one that somebody else like crams into 90 minutes or whatever. But
it's funny, I don't really read those kinds of books because I read so many scripts.
Yeah,
like
I'm sure. Yeah,
that I don't spend my time with that. I read books on quantum physics and mostly physics books. That's,
Yeah.
anything that's going to expand my mind, rather than,
Yeah.
story.
I got
stuff.
into like a couple of Don Miguel Ruiz's first couple books, Four Agreements and Mastery Love. I love those 2 books. They're really cool.
Yeah. My friend Ty
Maybe
Runyon,
Frailty. Frailty? Does that ring a bell?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
The internet here does not work. I don't know what's going on.
I was having the same issue.
Lies. You people tell lies.
I'm still looking.
All right.
Stand By Me
So
was
anyway,
awesome, by the way. Anyway.
So my friend Ty Runyon, who was on the show, he's an actor that was on a show called Versailles. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's a brilliant show. But he's all about the,
4 Agreements.
the 4 Agreements and everything. We
Super
had a big
cool.
talk about that.
Super cool couple books. Like he kind of, in my opinion, there's a new one that came out about something about shamans or something, but after those first 2 books, he kind of lost me. He went from like having this like really cool spiritual epiphany to like, he got a little too commercial for a second.
Well, that's because that's what his editors tell you.
Yeah, perhaps. I met a lady on an airplane who knew him, and I mentioned that to her, and she goes, "Yeah, I know why." And she didn't really elaborate too much, but she goes, "He'll be back though." And she was actually a shaman as well, and just how you hop on an airplane and you just sit by somebody, and it's like.
The randomness.
And it's usually like really cool, She had this whole story for me. She's like, "Do you mind if I tell you something?" She like started talking to me about this vision she had when I came walking on the plane. It was interesting.
That's when you pull down your cap. And
putting your earbuds, dude.
That was actually a very engaging conversation. And she'd actually written a law to legalize. Cannabis
I'm for it.
in Utah.
Okay.
She'd written a law and it just had passed, or legalized it for medicinal, or I don't know exactly what the law read, but she had done that, and then she was telling me about this tribal hospital they were going to open.
Oh, nice.
For cannabis, treating with cannabis and stuff. So it was really cool. Very interesting person.
By the way, the movie Frailty, 2001.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton.
Oh.
Does that ring?
Is that a Stephen King?
Yes. Yes.
I don't remember that story.
Dude, a man confesses to an FBI agent his family's story of how his religious fanatic's father's visions led to a series of murders to destroy supposed demons. Fucking insane.
Wow. I'm going to have to check that out.
It is one of the best Stephen King movies. I think it is the best Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Stand By Me is pretty badass too, but I mean it comes close. Damn it. Stand By Me.
I forgot about Stand By Me too.
Yeah. I mean, geez, amazing. You got it. Bill Paxton plays the greatest thing ever. That's when I was like, who the heck is Bill Paxton?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, he was in Aliens. And then I was like, oh my God, he was in this. But then I was like, oh my God, Frailty is the greatest thing in the world. Yeah. So. Anyway,
his Dark Tower series is really cool too. Did you read that?
That was a movie that just came out.
Yeah, and the movie is impossible to tell the story. I mean, it's to tell the tale for that. It's he started that book when he was in college, and he said that he wrote the first sentence to it, and he's like, "Oh my God, I have to finish this." You know? And it was the first sentence in the book, and it turned into 5 or 6 books. I mean, I literally would sit and wait for him to write the next book. I would inhale them as they came out. And for some reason, I was super into it. But yeah, crazy. It's a good. I don't know. Big fan of his. Not all of his stuff, but probably 75% of it for sure.
Nice.
As far as entertaining, scary books go.
Yeah.
But
so that's our discussion of books.
Discussion of books. Was that your experience, though?
No. I didn't even. That's right. We're in the experience.
Oh, yeah. We're doing a show.
We're doing a show. We just, again, without Max, we would just
be drowning.
Run off into some other place. But I'll tell you what. We will share experiences next. But let's hear another song. Okay. Now we heard. I wrote this down.
We heard Ready for Dead.
Yes.
Right. We heard Ready for Dead. Now, what's the next song that we're gonna do? So I'm writing this down. This is my favorite part of the show.
Half-Life?
You want to do Half-Life?
Half-Life is you don't have that.
I don't have that,
You
so
don't
we're
have
not
that
going
one.
to do Half-Life.
No.
Well, the Half-Life already ran out, so there's no life. To
You
it.
could do. Well, Off the Grid, Superhuman was the first song that we did, and we did for a reality show up in the Northwest that aired regionally.
Off the Grid.
Mm-hmm. That was the first song we did.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. It was for a hunting show. I was reading. Do you hunt? Do you do any of that?
I used to. I grew up in the sticks, so in east of Portland, about an hour and a half, and just grew up, hunting and fishing and
Hunter and gatherer type.
Yeah, that kind of a thing, And since I've been in the city, it's a lot less. I still fish quite often, but
I love to fish, but hunting.
It's a whole other level.
Yeah.
No.
It's truly is insane because I was watching this thing about these hunters and the things that they go through, they're like, yeah, I can't even piss anywhere near because my scent and like all these things that they have to do, and I'm like, this doesn't sound like fun. It sounds annoying, Like, why would I
sleep in the tree?
Yeah, I have to wait 3 days in this tree in order to get this, thing because then my scent will vanish, and and I'm just like, dude, like this does not seem appealing whatsoever.
How about being vegan and just not hunting?
Are you vegan?
I'm vegan.
I've actually been like trying to just do the fish, eggs, and vegetables. That's it. But that's tough to pull yourself away from.
I refuse.
It's
being a
not.
carnivore.
It's really not at all.
Well, I need help.
Well, I'm happy to help.
Okay, well,
Happy to
help me
help.
because I need help. No, I mean, like, I'm all cool with like, for example, like the cattle industry and stuff like that. It's horrific.
It is.
It is horrific.
Well, if you're the
most
cattle,
horrific
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it is horrible.
and it like pollutes like more than our cars do. From what I've heard. I don't know if you've seen the movies. Like,
yeah, no, it's true.
what is that called? Cowspiracy, and there's another one that I just watched, but it was talking about how polluting that industry is, and so. Like managing game and like if you're a meat eater and like, you're gonna be responsible and it's not about killing something, and it's more about sustaining and not eating meat with hormones. And I get it, but it's like the more I read, the more I realize that like the proteins are like
we don't need any
get all
of
over
this
from
stuff.
plants. I didn't know that
Until
until like 2 weeks ago. So good Lord, where have I been?
Forage.
Yeah, but it's not going to taste as
So much
delicious as
better.
a hamburger.
Oh, yes, it will. Yes, it will.
And chicken nuggets, and you know what I mean.
You have to try the Beyond Burgers. Beyond Burgers are fantastic.
I mean, yeah,
Delicious.
bring
And if
'em in,
you go to Sun Cafe, which
Oh,
we
yeah,
did a
yeah.
show at Sun Cafe.
Yeah, amazing place.
But
It's all vegan.
but soy.
No, soy is bad. Don't
is
do
bad.
soy.
So I'm scared to try all these things.
No,
Like
soy is
like horrible.
Yeah.
It's like a phytoestrogen, right?
Yes, you will grow breasts.
I don't want to.
No.
I'm lonely, so I'm down. I'm like, it's been a while, so why not?
That's funny.
Oh, turtle. That reminds me of a Dan Reed song.
What's Dan Reed's song?
I'm lonely, please stay.
Oh yeah.
That's Turtle's theme song.
Yeah, for sure.
Dan, did you know? If you're ever listening to this,
Yeah, Dan's been on the show.
Yeah, a few times, and drinking soy.
drinking soy. Was he drinking soy?
He might have been drinking soy. He doesn't know better. He likes breasts.
Although Max is guilty because there's times where she brings soy products, and I've had soy products because of you.
What are you talking about?
You brought in. You
I'm
brought
allergic
in
to soy, so I don't even
Well, you
touch
brought
it.
it in. You
No,
brought it in.
never.
Yes,
Not me.
Because
No.
you
Never
introduced
happened.
me to this vanilla soy chai iced delicious thing. That it's great. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
No.
And that was because of Max.
No.
And I'm like, soy. I'm
See?
like,
No
what the
soy in
fuck?
it.
How did you?
It's probably rice milk, and he has no idea what
Oh,
he's talking
okay.
about.
No, it said soy. I even took a photo of it because I've been trying to duplicate the formula at work.
Somebody else brought that.
Yeah, like almond milk's good. Like oat milk is good. Like that's,
hemp.
Yeah, I haven't tried the hemp milk, but
That's good.
I like. Yeah, I mean, I'm down with all that stuff, and like, it's just a whole new, like, it's an eye opener. It's like the whole
You
just
don't need
opening
that
your
junk.
eyes to like what we've had like crammed down our throats all this time.
Yep.
It's just like, it's interesting,
Yeah, and as musicians, as artists, you have to watch what you put in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Because it will come out in the way that you're writing.
Yeah, I
and
agree
performing. So if you want to have longevity on the road, you got to treat your body well. And a lot of people don't understand that.
No, they just go to
The
McDonald's.
rigors of
Sorry,
touring
McDonald's.
life. Yeah, no.
McDonald's is delicious.
No, it's not. It's
To you, it's not. But I mean, they have over a
not.
billion
But
burgers
they
sold, so
are
somebody must be
stepping
eating.
up and have options now at McDonald's. So if you're desperate, then you can get your options. But
Yeah,
whatever.
you can. You can. I mean, but yeah. And that song though, that Off the Grid Superhuman is the name of the song, but that song is about that whole thing. It's about you were talking
Yeah.
about scent.
Yeah.
The chorus is, "I'm your superhuman, I'm the scent of man." And in that and what that means in the chorus is like it's danger to the animals. The scent of man is
Yeah,
the
it is.
animals,
Yeah.
they're like, the scent of man, and then they leave, and they're like,
Right?
there's danger coming, and that's what the chorus is in it.
Danger,
So
Will Robinson.
yeah, so it's, I don't know, but it's just writing it for a reality show that was about hunting and fishing and stuff like that. I kind of had to stay, in that realm and everything, and it's something I understood growing up where I did, and I I would like leave my house in the morning and climb. I had a hill in my backyard and a river in my front yard, and a freeway in between. But I would run across the freeway with my fishing pole, or like climb the hill in the backyard with a gun. When I was just a little kid, go up and hunt. My mom would be like, "Get out of here and go shoot something."
Oh, God.
Great mom.
I do catch and release.
Okay, well, that's not that good either because they're getting all these like things like
Well,
getting caught.
no,
and-
that's if you don't catch properly.
Well, who does? I mean, is there really like a referee out there like you did that? Yeah, you did that wrong.
Fish foul.
I doubt that there's like that. People don't know. They think just because like fish don't have any feelings, like it's
Fish
fine.
do too have feelings.
They forget every 20 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
So do you.
Well, yeah,
Because
that's
you're
true.
forgetting to play the song.
Yeah, we gotta play this song, guys.
All right, let's play the
Look.
song.
Yeah, that's a complete cool thing. I mean, if you're not doing it, then you're doing it completely wrong.
It's a good thing that I don't have that lighting system, that clap on.
Oh yeah, the clapper.
Oh, the
Do people
clapper,
still
yeah.
use it?
It would be bad.
It's like we'd have shit turning off. And we'd have
Right?
to clap again.
Yeah, and it's be on.
I might have to install that just to upset you.
Do it. That'd be and make sure it's in part of the lighting system because then we'll be all in the dark and like no one will even see like the video or anything. Yeah, that'd just be a fun, just hysterical joke. Just a sitcom. Like I'm surprised the sitcom hasn't stolen that idea.
Well,
Yeah.
you could use it, like you could actually like get them to sponsor you, and you could just toss it into the show, and
Right?
it'd be perfect.
Right?
Clap on.
It'd be a perfect advertisement.
If only we had something to advertise.
Who knows the clapper people though?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
who is
you know.
that? Who are they?
Have you drinking any coffee lately? Because we have a sponsor.
We do have a sponsor.
Yes.
You do?
We have an
Is that what I was just
amazing
drinking?
sponsor.
Yes.
Because it's
Wow.
gone. I
Yeah.
drank
Is
it
it?
all, and it was so good.
See?
It was so good. I didn't even know.
Well, that's what happens when the commercial breaks are 3 hours. Max.
Contracts, man. Contracts.
Damn it. Yes, Deadly
Deadly
Grounds. GetDeadly.com.
Coffee to die for.
Go get your coffee there. I would love for them to have a Tortoise and Hare coffee blend. That would be great.
I wonder if they could do that. We should talk to them about
You get
that.
like you get one tortoise and then you get one hare, but you have to buy them both to get like,
Yeah.
I don't know. something
Brilliant.
That'd be
Yes.
great.
Brilliant.
Yeah. What would your roast be?
Oh,
would it be dark?
It'd be. You know what?
It'd be a slow roast.
No. Yes, and yours would be like an espresso roast.
Right?
Oh my God! Yes, and you put them together, and it's just like this great. Yes, okay, $1 billion.
Right, I know.
Look, guys, we already made you $1 billion.
Right there.
Let's
Done.
go.
Done.
Yeah, Deadly Grounds, getdeadly.com. Coffee to die for. Go check it out. Delicious coffee. Thank you, and I'll put a banner on entertheshow.com so you can,
Yes.
see all that. So we were going to share experiences really quick.
What experiences?
I know. I just
That's
had
the top of the show.
No, but we just got ran off as always.
Okay.
With everything. Did you want to go first, Max?
Oh, sure. So, what was my experience? Oh, this. I got a check from my record label this week, and I'm
Who
very
still
stoked
gets
about
checks?
that.
I mean, usually
Some
everything is
people
direct
get
deposit.
yeah, but it's just when you get mailbox money, it's such a fun thing. You know what I'm talking about, Jeff, because you get mailbox money all the time.
It's fun. I mean, it's like run to the bank.
Yeah, I'm telling. Well, I haven't even done that yet, but just looking at the check, it's like, oh, Sony. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that just makes me happy. And it's like, I've had 3 deals in my life, 3 record deals. The first one was with CBS with Joe Iskro. And God bless Joe Iskro. This man, he's the sweetest guy. But back in the 80s, there was a thing called payola with the radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
Totally illegal. Completely
It
illegal.
was a little illegal.
Independent
but
radio promoters, they called them.
But everybody did it. It was like a kind of a thing you didn't talk about, but it happened. And they had to make an example of somebody, and they made an example of Joe Iskro, and he went to jail.
Oh no!
And all of his acts got cut from the label, and
blacklisted.
And it was so hard for us because we were working with Richard Marx and Gino and Ross Finelli at the time. There's a lot of money behind us, and we're just about done. And it was.
And this was like a like a sub label kind of a thing.
No, it was CBS. It was straight up CBS records, and then we had to start all over again. And then we went over to Motown, and I was thinking, oh, this is the greatest thing ever because they're gonna get me because I have a very hefty voice, you can say, and I thought, yeah, they're gonna get me. It's gonna be wonderful. And then we get into the studio, and they say, Max, could you sing like a white girl? No, I can't sing like a white girl. I'm like, no. Why? Why would you do this to my soul? And,
literal mic drop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, what?
Yeah, they like, no. So I recorded for them and did all of that, but I didn't want to tour it because it was just nonsense to me. But even though, no disrespect to Motown at all, and one of the greatest labels ever to exist, but wasn't a good fit for my band. And now we are a Dark Star Records, Sony band, and we are very, very excited to be with them. So so that's my experience.
Very cool.
Dun, 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 dun. And yours? Sure.
So these shorts that I'm wearing, great, because I found these shorts. I fell in love with them, and so I'm wearing them. And I'm wearing these shorts, no belt, right? Because I mean that's kind of like the style these days is to wear things without belts. And I was like, okay, these fit great. So there I am at the Dodger game, watching the game, and all of a sudden the button flies out.
Like popped
It
off.
popped. It popped out. It was a pop up to left field. And I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? Because I stand up and I have to hold my shorts and like walk around. And I'm like walking around the stadium. I'm like, does anybody sell belts? And they're looking at me like weird. And I'm like, I know that's a weird question, but I mean, and I had to explain to them like what happened. And they're like, we don't know. So then I was like, man, do you guys have a D-ring? And they're like, yeah, we have a D-ring keychain. So I pieced everything together and I created like this like new form of belt for these shorts, and I'm in love with it.
And you're a designer on the spot.
I am. I'm a fashionista. Like this could be the next.
This is the next thing.
Yeah. And not only that, it's like this Dodger D-ring keychain. So like I still have like the little Dodger flair to it. So I'm still supporting the team in a way. So I'm like,
all right. I was thinking to use the wrapper from the Dodger dog.
oh, I wasn't even thinking of that.
Yeah.
I was.
See, that's thinking.
Yeah. But then I wouldn't have this cool belt, like, you know what I mean? This cool,
and everybody's noticing it now. And I actually think I saw some people wearing that very thing downtown today.
I'm telling you, I'm ahead of my time.
They were kind of hipstery looking. So it's kind of
turtle wear.
I think it's working.
Yeah, ahead of my time. Telling you. But has that ever happened to you guys where like you snag something, you know, and then you're just like out of necessity, you just somehow think of something else. And then it just becomes like, wow, this could be my cool thing that I do now. This could be a new accessory for myself.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's never happened. I mean,
no.
That just happens to stuff.
I was a baseball coach at one point, and one time it was a baseball practice. I was coaching my kid, and there was little kids, right? And I'm teaching this one little boy, and I was running late that day, so I didn't have time to swing by the house to like throw some sweats on before baseball practice. So I was wearing a pair of jeans, and they were a little tighter than they probably should have been for baseball practice. But I showed up and was teaching this kid how to like swing.
Really swing.
And so I, because you balance, you put the bat in the right place and weight on the back foot a little bit, show them how to step, and then spin the back foot. And right as I spun my back foot, and the whole ass of my pants just ripped wide open, and it was like slow motion because the rip happened, and it was on by my wallet. It was like the rip, and then my wallet just the weight of my wallet just kind of flopped it open.
Oh, no.
And I turned around and I looked there's like a bunch of moms standing right there.
Oh, boy.
And so.
They're like, thank you.
And I'm like, I know, I was like, oh, how do I handle this situation? So.
You're in the big leagues now.
So I walked over to the fence and I'm like, and I just, I faced him like that. And I'm like, did my pants rip? And so the way that I corrected it was I just took the old sweatshirt and tied it around my waist. For the rest of the practice, we were good. Pretty embarrassing moment, but at times like that, you have to be inventive to
improvise. You have to improvise.
Yep.
This is a totally improvisable moment. So that's been our experience. Do you have an experience that you'd like to share?
Well, I think I just
experience.
See, did you see how I did that?
Yeah, that was
my
wow.
goodness.
I segued like right. It was like
Beautiful.
Perfect bridge.
Got it.
You didn't even know it.
I didn't. I was like, wow. I'm like, this guy's really sharing. Very cool. Just wanted you to share more, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, man.
That's all I got, I think. I can't think of anything. If I think of something, I'll just start talking.
Well, let me ask you about experience. Let me ask you about your experience with Dan Reed.
With Dan Reed, I was played in a cover band for like right out of high school for several years, and I met. Do you know Sean Holland?
No.
You remember a band called Rex and the Rockets?
Oh, yes.
Portland.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I was in that band.
Oh, okay.
Fresh off the road from a top 40 band that I was in. That's how I met Sean, and that's how I ended up in Portland. They kept telling me about this guy Dan Reed that was coming out on this, and I remember the first time I heard the song "Ritual" on the freeway. I'm like, these guys are cool, you know. Mm-hmm. And so via Rex and the Rockets, that's how I met those guys, and I started hanging out with Melvin and stuff, and I got to know Dan a little bit, and we just kind of stayed friends over all the years. Because I was such a fan of what they were doing, and his songwriting, and all of the musicians in that band are incredible. And now that Rob's in the band, he's my producer as well. So
right.
Just the connections all there, and I went over and with another friend of mine, opened for Dan, like in Stockholm and in London. And then I played with Dan, bass for him on one of his solo things in the Northwest too. Did a few shows with him.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah.
And he's coming back around. He's going to be here next month, I think.
I think so. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing those live recording sessions and stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. And yeah, so there's they're going to be back on. They're doing one in New York, one in Portland. A show in Portland. I don't know if are they coming to LA?
I don't think it's on the schedule. I don't think so. But if you get the chance to go see Dan Reed and the Dan Reed Network, go do it because it's an amazing show. And then tell him to send me money.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just saying. You enjoy the money.
And put it in a check.
Put it in a check.
Thanks so much, Jeff, for coming out, hanging out.
Totally, man. Been my pleasure.
Yeah, I know. You got to run because you're gonna go do a jam. You're gonna go do a jam at the Whiskey.
Yeah, the ultimate jam night thing.
Very cool. And I know that this happens, and every time is themed, right?
Yeah. This is like the Hall of Fame inductees theme night or whatever, and there's like several bands that they're honoring.
Right, and what's going to be your portion of it?
I'm doing a couple Bon Jovi songs, actually.
JBJ.
Yeah, I'm gonna play on "You Give Love a Bad Name" and "Born to Be My Baby."
Oh.
So that'll be fun.
Two of my favorites.
Weren't you? I think like earlier we were talking when we had like a 1,000-hour break. About I gotta give her shit, of course. But you were in a John Bon Jovi tribute band, though.
I was for a minute, yeah, and it was a lot of fun. And it's the tribute bands up in the Northwest are huge. My writing partner in the Loyal Order is Brandon Cook. He plays in a couple as well. And it's kind of the thing. I think it is down here too, kind of, right? I mean,
it's not like it's not as big.
Not
I mean,
so much
it's here, but it's just like it's like, oh yeah, do I really want to? Like oh man, there was a tribute band. There was a Pink Floyd tribute band that came into town a while ago, and I'm like, well, I just did go see Pink Floyd. I'm like, so do I really want to see the tribute band? I'm like, no, it's not.
I saw this band last weekend. Yeah, Saturday. It was Saturday. Called Gypsy. And it was a tribute to Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
And they were so flipping good. I was so entertained. I loved it.
Yeah, a lot of people talk smack about the tribute bands and stuff, and I think for me it's like everybody wants to play music, and it takes a special talent to be able to do that, and to me it's like the reason that tributes do so well is because obviously they're paying tribute to some really amazing musicians, but it's also kind of a celebration of a time when that band was like really in the market fully, and it's it's also a time when the record labels were like really developing acts, and you can see the marketing, what the impact of the marketing to this day of the songs. I mean, like, I think that if just the industry's changed so much to where it's like it's like how many likes do you have and how many but back then it was like they really like invested in the songs and they like really made those songs like a household thing, and you can see people and people remembering that time at these shows. I mean, 3,000-4,000 people show at some of them, and it's crazy, and it's just like wow, and they're reliving that moment, and so I think it's a great thing, and it's in a lot of ways it's brought live music back even more than because
they're making twice the amount of money that some of the bands themselves are making.
Yeah, and it's just like it went from like the live music kind of disappeared for a second there, and it just became all about dance clubs and stuff like that, which is great. But the live music thing kind of disappeared for a second, and this has kind of brought it back, and it's a good platform for people to make their fan base grow, and then like, their original projects. It's like, hey, that's so and so from that tribute band, and then here's their song or whatever, So it works good, And I think it's music is music.
Yeah. That's true.
And everybody can, some people do their original things, and some people just like to play, And so I think it's actually helped the market in some ways. I mean, most people say that it doesn't. It's like, oh, it killed the, It's like, did it? I'm not so sure I agree with that.
Now, with your band, The Loyal Order, are you guys performing anytime soon, or?
Our hope is to begin doing that soon. We're still in development phase, like where we're like still recording songs, and I don't want to like go try out songs live necessarily. I want to like have everything recorded and uploaded and ready to go to when, when things start moving, that's the kind of the deal. So like, I think I noticed, I wrote to you guys, basically it's like when it's all ready, it's time. And that's kind of my trip down here this time has been, I went to the Muse Expo thing, and I met a lot of promoters and different label people, and that can, maybe help, if they're interested, and, do it right.
Yeah.
It's knowing the right people and being in the right environment is everything. You can play, and like I've been in Oregon most of my life, and there's only so much you can do, and a little, it's positioning yourself is everything. So, like knowing as far as your network goes.
Right. Yeah, the network.
Yeah, the network. There's a Dan Reed plug for you again.
And if you're in the Portland area, go see Blake Sakamoto. Right, he's got a killer band. Couple of them over there. The New Wavers, I believe they're called.
Yeah. Blake is a good friend of mine too.
Yeah, I love Blake.
I do too. He's a good soul for sure.
Yep.
He
is.
Well, any last plugs that you'd like to give out, Jeff?
As far as gear or something, or
whatever, yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just like not that I can really think of. I mean, like for my basses and stuff, I love to play Stingrays and Ampeg gear and electro harmonics effects, and that's about it.
Okay.
Nice.
Plug to you guys too, man. Thank you so much for having me here, and it was an honor.
Thanks for coming down. We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
And
again,
this won't be on today, but
it'll be on.
It'll be on, and
it'll be great.
So if you got to see Jeff at the Whiskey tonight, then you're a lucky person. If you didn't, then it's a shame.
Well, you can
There's
always
always
catch him.
There's always another time. I'm not going anywhere.
Except for back to Portland.
Back to Portland tomorrow.
And and a huge shout out to Rob, because we love Rob.
Yeah. I'm getting back there. As soon as I get back there, I'm gonna finish up another song that we're working on right now. So
yeah, he's a great producer.
Yeah, he's great, and he's a great writer too.
Mm-hmm.
It's been really cool, like writing alongside of him with some of the stuff, and he's actually pulled some of his old stuff and said, "Hey man, you might want to think about that," And so we because he's doing different genres now, so it's like a couple of his older ideas he's pulled into the forefront and said, "Hey man, I think you'd do good on this one," And so we've been toying with some things, and Ready for Dead is actually one of them. So he's an amazing talent.
Yeah, he is.
In so many ways, and co-writing with him has been good, and he and Brandon and myself, like, we really get this synergy going sometimes. Like
that's Brandon Cook.
Brandon Cook, yeah. Yep, and then, all the other guys that have been working on it with me, Dane Ryan's bass player, like myself, Joe Mangus has played drums on a lot of the tracks. Nice. Andrew Green has played drums on a few of the tracks, about an equal number of those. And so, yeah, it's just, it's been a fun thing pulling all this like killer talent from up there and putting them on. It's like in Tears, that song Tears from Kelly, Dan Reed has a little cameo in that. He happened to be in town, and I told him the story about my friend Kelly, she was dying from colon cancer in Australia, and she asked me to write her a song, and I was like, that's a really heavy thing to ask somebody, you know. I said, because I got to do it right, you know. I said, if something comes to me, I will do it. And lo and behold, it did. It kind of just dropped in my lap one night, and I wrote this song, and then took it in the studio and did it right with Rob. And Dan just happened, and she was a Dan Reed fan too from back in the day. So Dan happened to be in town, and I asked him to sing some backups on it. So, and he happened to be there, and he's in the video and everything. So it really blessed her, and she passed away in November last year, and it was a really cool way for her to go. Like, I mean, it's like so many people latched onto that song, and like,
that'll live on forever.
Yeah. And that's what she asked. She goes, I just want everybody to remember me. So that's her song. It was tough. It was a tough one to write, but it worked. It blessed her. So that's what music is really all about most of the time. So
100%.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your experiences, and being a part of this experience. Really appreciate it.
Super cool, man. Thank you.
Max, real quick, plugs.
Plugs. Deadly Grounds, our new sponsor. Deadly
Delish.
Grounds is coffee to die for. Deadlygrounds.com. Yeah, I know. Jeff's gone. Gonna have to get him some more. All the different flavors, they're delish. They are delish.
They are very delicious.
Yeah, Here Gear Technologies. Thank you for all of your front of house gear that you have given me. I love it. I love it. I love it. They just have amazing things. You know, the Here back system, badass. So loving them. Nuex, love them too. Pedals are fantastic. I'm waiting for Dave to send me that drum kit that he promised me. So yeah, that'll be noisy or not noisy. It might not be noisy. Go see my films. Death House is in theaters now across the country in all of I believe it's in the Regal theaters. Hell's Kitty is out, and of course, House of Manson is out on Netflix, Hulu, and all of that kind of mumbo jumbo-ness. Vampires is getting ready to film, as is Dead Slate, Carrie Fleming film. I'm totally stoked to do that. I'm about to do a Jim Wynorski film that I'm stoked about as well. Do you know this? Do you know any of this?
Who's Jim Wynorski?
The famous Jim Wynorski is huge director. You know, Return of the Swamp Thing and Chopping Mall.
Swamp Thing was awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, Alien Attack is what I'm going to be doing with the lovely and talented Jim Wynorski. And the Wendigo, Grindsploitation, things. I got things. It's out there. But
if there was only some website that they could go to.
I know, you could go to. Well, first off, you can go to the Enter the Shell website and find out about our sponsors. But you can also go to www.maxwasa, WASA, official.com, because I'm officially official.
Yes. Here's the thing. Is www even needed anymore?
I don't know, but I think you have to say it just in case.
No one's going to be like, no one's going to, I mean,
you never know.
You put in entertheshell.com. You don't even have to put in the www and it takes you there. You put in any website, it no longer takes the www.
It's so assuming, you know.
Just assuming. And if you are in need of somebody to build your website, Drake Mafetta, holy cow, this guy is good.
You did yours?
Yes, he did mine. And he's fantastic. And I very much appreciate all of his artistry. And speaking of artist, my artist, Crash Karma, and Boy Hits Car, hello, brand new artist, right there on the Liquid Music station. Brian Steele Medina, Meigs, Nick Mason, I almost said his name wrong. RJ, Absence Project, Mystery School, Daniel Knight, Ty Fury, other people.
Yes.
And things. We're running out of time. I don't got time for this.
Exactly.
I don't have time.
Our guest has to leave.
Our guest has to go and perform.
Lastly, wanted to promote June 23rd at the Airliner right here in LA. I will be there signing autographs, doing interviews with bands, interviewing musicians, painters, everybody.
All the things.
All the things that I normally do without Max.
I know.
So, and filming webisodes there as well. So, if you want to go down there, meet me, come out in a webisode, just June 23rd. I'll have the banner up by the time you listen to this, so you could just go to interviewshow.com, click on the banner, give you all the information of the times, the bands, and all that good fun stuff. All this brought to you by Hazy Chaos. So thank you so much, Hazy Chaos, for always thinking of me and always letting me just go film and do whatever I want there. Really cool.